Okay, everybody, this is Mr. Seward, your favorite Project Lead the Way teacher. We are going to take a look at this next project, and this is about designing a tiny house. And in the end, you're going to create something similar to this, and you're also going to do a little bit of calculation work with area and perimeter, and I'll walk you through how to do all that stuff when we get to that step. So this is the first page of the project right here. Second page is just a black and white. We're going to look for, like I mentioned a second ago, area, perimeter, and geometry. And those things are all hanging out in your house, by the way. So before you begin, what's a tiny house? You should read this more in depth than what I'm going to cover right here in the video. But it's a house that's less than 400 square feet of space. They're typically mobile too. People hook them up to the back of their cars or trucks, most likely a truck because they're kind of heavy. Anyways, they hook them up to the back of their truck and they haul them wherever they want to go. People that live in tiny houses are anybody, really. It can be a single person. I've seen people on TV. HGTV has a lot of stuff about this where they have families living in tiny houses. It's cramped, but it's still doable. Why do people live in tiny houses? They're cheaper than building a big house. Uh, I know from personal experience, if I were to try to build a new house these days, even a fairly modest one, it's easily a couple $100,000. Whereas a tiny home might be more on the order of $40,000 to $50,000. Hey, saves you on mortgage payments, it saves you on time, paying off the mortgage, all kinds of things. Keep reading through and become very familiar with this page, okay? You are at the end of this project going to be asked to reflect back on the project. So this is the kind of an outline of the house project itself, and you're going to just need to read through this and become familiar with it again. Now, this is the to-do list, and you're going to hear me talk about this. This is page number 5. See right up here at the top, I've got page number 5 of this PDF file. And this is our to-do list for the entire project, okay? By the end of this first lesson, you are going to need to have completed this rough draft of your tiny house, including all the items that are on the requirements list. So we're going to do steps numbers 1 and 2 for our next due date, and I will post the due date for this in the Google Classroom. Matter of fact, you'll find some information about supplies you're going to need in the Google Classroom, so refer to the Google Classroom. This video will be, of course, linked to the Google Classroom. So different parts, we're going to design a base. That's the floor in the tiny house. We're also going to design the walls. This is one of the long walls, so this area right here is this wall going across from left to right. This short area here is one of these. This short area is the one on the opposite end, and then this wall is the opposite side from the first one. And then we have a roof, and of course the roof goes on top of the walls. So we're going to be drawing all of these, creating, I guess, all of these parts on separate pieces of paper. You're going to be cutting them out and putting them together to make a rectangular prism. So requirements list, we've seen that. That's page 5. I'm sorry, that's not correct. The requirements list is things that you need to have in your house. There's going to be a list of those items for the floor plan and the walls. You can decide yourself where to put everything. We are going to do area and perimeter calculations. So as you create the layout of your house, you're going to need to find the area and perimeter of the items from that requirement list. Units are going to be the measurement used for the perimeter area. So geometry design, you're going to use your geometry skills to find the best solution to fitting all the items into the house. Your houses are going to be filled with geometry in real life, and you're going to use those ideas to help you make the best choices. Your house has to make sense and it has to fit together, and you're going to want to make sure that your layout makes sense. So some tiny house parts. After you create a layout, you're going to find the area and perimeter of the items in that house. That's not the first thing you have to do, though. We will be getting to that at a later step. So take and read through this, but you can see like this bathtub right here, they say it's 6 square units. So the area is going to be the length times the width. So this is 1, 2, whoops, 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2. So that is going to be 3 times 2. That is the area of the bathtub is 6 square units. The perimeter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. So perimeter is the area around something. So that is the perimeter of the bathtub. Okay. The same thing goes for all the rest of these items. So the first thing you need to get done is what's called the rough draft. And it's going to be used as a blueprint that will include all the items from the requirement list. The requirement list is included on the next page, and you're going to check off each of those items once you have included it. So take and make sure you become familiar with what they're telling you right here in this area. So also check this area out down here. Okay, so here is the rough draft of your item. Okay, and you're going to see the shower and bathtub, shower or bathtub. So you don't have to put in a bathtub. You can just put in a regular 3x3 shower. Probably save you a little bit of space because showers are smaller than bathtubs in terms of how many squares they are. And then you see beds and tables and all that kind of stuff, closets, and over here is windows and stoves and all kinds of stuff. So all of these items have to be accounted for on your floor plan. This is the base, and if you were to fold this on this line, this would be the one wall to the right, and fold on this line, and that's the wall in the back, and this one would be your front wall, and this one would be the wall on the left hand side of your house. So you're going to actually draw, this is your first assignment for this project, you're going to actually create your rough draft. Rough means not perfect. Okay, that's going to be the next set of drawings that we make. Those have to be perfect. This one just has to be close enough. Okay. Here is the scoring rubric that I'm going to be using for this. You can see students completed steps 1 through 8 on the to-do list. Excuse me. The to-do list, remember, is page number 5 right here. So we're going to only be working on step number 2 through step number 2 this week. And then we'll go on with other steps as the weeks go on. And then you're going to see the rest of the things that are expected of you here in this grading rubric. So that is the project. I'm going to have information about what you're going to need. I'm going to have how you turn this into me listed in the Google Classroom. And let's have some fun with this.